He's like, hey, smile. And then she goes, how about a handshake? And he goes, oh, okay. And then she electrocutes him and forces him to give up his vehicle, his clothing, under the threat of losing an arm. Like, imagine in a school with these, like, 6-year-olds or whatever, and a boy is like, you have a cute smile, and the girl punches him. You piece of shit.
And then everyone claps. No.
She takes his jacket off him.
On the boy while he walks past in shame, just an adult's like, you piece of shit.
Carol Danvers, as a character, she wouldn't straight up hurt that person because...
She literally did! Mr. LegalEagle did a video talking about the legal implications of what we saw in that amazing moment where she, what can we say? Where she assaulted and battered the Don. Would you not agree with that?
Yeah, she tortured him. Extortion, I guess you could say.
What would you say legally that probably comes under, Rags? Do you reckon there's anything legally there she could get in trouble for, or do you reckon she's clean?
I think that she might have a few issues. I think she might want to zip her lip when she talks to the popo and lawyer up, because she's got a long court case ahead of her.
Well, could you imagine that there is a case for her to get off scot-free?
The lawyer who takes that case is a fucking retard.
Oh.
Hey, Legal Eagles, it's time to think like a lawyer. And I really mean that this time because there are a lot of people engaging in quasi-legal analysis and really messing it up. Would you believe that the men who are complaining about Captain Marvel again are wrong about the law?
What about the women complaining about Captain? Do they just not exist? They just don't fucking exist. The women, no women hate this movie. There are just the men. It's the men who hate it. We made it a good 53 seconds and we're already pulling the gender card here. Fuck off.
It is the men who's complaining though, Rags. Women, I don't know a single women's that didn't think she was justified. Except any of the ones that I've spoken to. But other than them.
So a little background about Captain Marvel before we dive into the current ridiculous controversy that is surrounding this franchise. Captain Marvel came out last summer. It had slightly more controversy than normal because, as far as I can tell, and I wasn't following this closely, the lead superhero is a woman, and the lead actress, Brie Larson, said some semi-controversial things about racism and sexism in Hollywood. That led some people, predominantly men, to boycott the film, which appears to have had no real effect because the movie did fine when it came out last summer.
I love it when they make this argument. It appears to have had no effect, and it's like, you realize that whatever money it made, it could have made more money. That's just a fact of life.
If it makes a lot of money, it could not have made any more money. No effect was had.
This led to a reaction on certain parts of the internet. Some called Captain Marvel a villain.
Okay.
Oh, tell us how she's totally not the villain in this scenario.
I just...
Bat for the whammon.
I like the idea that people are going to run with immediate... Like, the most casual response you get is like, well, yeah, she'd be done for assault, she'd be done for theft, and possibly screwing up the road. If you remember the clip, she, like, fucks up traffic for a minute, but, those three things are totally real. I mean, I just like the idea that
the Don does. You're like, I guess he touches her personal property. I guess he sort of invades her personal space, maybe from behind the map.
Well, maybe we'll see those arguments.
He touches her map.
It's like a euphemism or something.
It's like in Captain Marvel's defense, the Don does touch her map.
Yeah, and
apparently, so I guess she's off the hook.
The argument, as far as I can tell, is as follows. The deleted scene shows that a man on a motorcycle is rude to Captain Marvel. In a totally unprovoked attack, Captain Marvel effectively beats the hell out of the guy and steals his motorcycle. Instead of using her words, Captain Marvel engages in violence and is therefore the villain. The problem with this argument is that it is legally and morally incorrect.
What? Morally incorrect? Fuck you.
Morally incorrect.
Man, if he takes this from a purely objective, this is what the law says, detachment kind of position, that would be one thing. But to say morally incorrect, fuck you, dude. You're a monster.
I don't begrudge these commentators too much. It's a clever attempt at being contrarian. It's just that the evidence doesn't really support this argument, and the attempts to shoehorn this movie, and in particular this deleted scene, into a particular conservative narrative just doesn't really work.
She threatened to kill him because she said she would take his arm off, which is a good chance he would bleed out before he can get the help he needs.
That's gonna essentially be treated like I'm pretty sure legally, at least, that would be treated essentially the same as a threat to his life.
Look at him. He looks so scared. Like
He's like, all I wanted
I
to
feel
do was-
so bad for him.
I feel terrible. Poor Don.
Yeah, he should never be put down like this. This is fucked
Poor
up.
Don.
And just he's trying to help too. That's really the worst part.
I want to give this man his own movie.
I thought it would be a great opportunity to talk about some of the legal analysis that law students and lawyers go through on an everyday basis. But let's examine the clip.
Nice scuba suit. You need a ride, darling? How about a smile for me, huh?
A smile?
Yeah. I'm offering to help you. Least you could do is give me a smile.
Okay, so clearly here, Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, is reading a map or a newspaper. She's minding her own business, and some guy on a motorcycle has parked his motorcycle at the strip mall, and he has made an unwanted overture. Not the most polite thing to do, but not illegal either. And of course, I guess I have to point out that Captain Marvel is fully within her rights to completely ignore this gentleman and not engage with him in any way, shape, or form. Okay, this is the crucial act that takes place that really changes the narrative entirely. The man on the motorcycle has parked his motorcycle. He's taken his helmet off. He stood up, he walked over to Captain Marvel, he put his hand on the map that she was holding and is clearly right next to her. You can see that his arm is sort of angled, which means that the distance between Captain Marvel and himself must be just a matter of inches, because it's not like he was reaching out with his hand in an extended fashion. He's reaching out his hand in a way that makes it seem like the map is directly in front of him. And crucially, he makes contact with the map that Captain Marvel is holding, pulls it down, and says something that might be interpreted as a threat. How about a smile for me?
How is that a threat?
Is that a threat?
How
can
could
I
you
interpret it
possibly?
You would have to be absolutely brain dead to think that "how about a smile for me" is a threat. What is what is the threat being made?
Well,
Can you imagine if you were like captured by, I don't know, ISIS and put in a torture chamber? Some guy comes in and he's like all big and burly and he leans down and you're like, oh God, is he gonna waterboard me? Is he gonna like cut off my head? And he's like, smile.
How
He's
about
like,
this smile for me?
I was about to say what you
And
just
you're like,
said.
No, anything
You
with
said-
that. No, God,
You said
no.
smile. That's almost a command. How about a smile is a question.
Yeah, he's asking her, "How about a smile?"
This guy is not a particularly nice guy.
He's extremely nice. Look at his
He's
smile.
offering to help her.
This is
He's
how-
thrilled to get a handshake.
This is how I knew we had to cover this, because he said the Don is not a nice guy.
He is so pure.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, saying he's not a nice guy is kind of accurate because he's well above that. Like, that would be a poor representation of him if you were to say he's nice. Like, yeah, it's...
Telling, I like in chat, telling someone to smile is against the Geneva Convention.
Don't get it.
It's like he just asked her to smile. He asked if she needed a ride anywhere.
Literally
No.
offered to help her.
Yeah, but he said it in an
Literally.
aggressive, evil way. Look at that. He doesn't
Yeah.
even care that his
Look
hair's a
at
little
him.
bit unkempt, because
He's
he's
so
like,
pure.
appearances
Look at him.
aren't
So-
everything.
Well, no,
Look,
yeah, it's 'cause he
his
had helmet
hairline
on,
might
right?
not be great, but he is.
He did take his
rocking.
helmet off, right?
His spirit line is great. I'll say that.
He's
Look
been
at that
riding
smile.
in the wind, man.
Look at him. He's so happy. He's such a
God,
nice
I want to
guy.
ride him so fucking hard.
Mhm, mhm.
Same with me.
And crucially here, he has invaded Captain Marvel's space. This is a crucial distinction that we'll talk about in just a second, because in my opinion, I think that that meets the statutory definition of assault and battery.
You're kidding.
Wow.
Yeah.
In your
shit.
opinion, her threatening to rip his arm off and twisting his hand to the point that he can't move is not assault
Yeah,
and
but
battery.
Wolf, because
What
I
world
skipped,
do you
I
live
guess
in?
the
skipped
point-
through this.
I guess.
He's gonna justify that.
Oh my
Well,
God.
yeah, of course he will. He would also justify O.J. Simpson. You know, people did that too. It doesn't make.
He would
him guilty.
justify Daenerys Targaryen and Luke
Oh my
Skywalker.
God.
It's like
Make-
imagine like Sergeant, like Captain Marvel goes to court and wants to put this man through court and say assault and battery, and he's like, I touched her map, Your Honor.
Can we pull it back to like a picture of the Don? Not
Okay,
just because
okay.
I want to see his
And
amazing
on-
face, but because that looks like it's a good like 2 feet or so.
Probably 3 feet.
Maybe-
Yeah, I'd call it
Maybe
nearly
like
a
a
meter.
foot and a half, 2 feet. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not just like it's not like he's in her face like an inch away.
Yeah,
Like,
She's
there's plenty of space.
You can safely
for
He's
normal
say
had-
conversation
she's,
distance.
she's at least
He
half
has to
extended her
reach.
arm, and he's half extended his arm, and they connect in the middle, which means they're a good arm's length away from each other.
So his hand has left the map. He is still standing very close to her, but it appears that his arms are at his side, and Captain Marvel has taken the map, put it to the side, and she's about to confront this man.
It's not exactly that much closer than like a cashier and a customer.
Yeah, like if you brush hands with someone while you're giving them your credit card, or if you go up to someone, you just pat him on the shoulder, "Hey, how you doing, buddy?" or something like that. It's like it's such a brief. He pushes it down for a second and then he retreats his hand.
How about a handshake? I'm Veers.
People call me the Don.
Wow.
It was so
He's
polite.
happy
Look
to
at that.
I love that little handshake.
that.
He's so on board with it.
It's literally a polite. There's nothing you could even misconstrue it as other than just like being like, okay.
And she was the one who
shake your hand.
instigated.
That's
He
it.
he consented.
it-
It was wonderful.
It can't be stressed enough. He's happy to get the handshake. He smiles. He's like, "Oh, handshake."
I love to think that if this scene continued and she didn't electrocute him, he'd be like, "Where are you going?" Like so, and maybe offers her a ride. Just that simple. I want to see the movie. I know we've been over this before, but I want to see it now.
What if Captain Marvel said, I'm actually in a relationship right now, but I really do actually need a ride. Could you take me to, spot X? I would really, really appreciate that. The Dawn would be like, absolutely.
He would.
Even though I know that, you're not on the market, I would absolutely take you to position X where you need to go. Jesus, man. Because he's out to ride anyway. That's what he's out riding. He's got his jacket. He's got his helmet, his goggles. It's a gorgeous day. He's out to ride. At least have some company. Man, oh.
Here's a proposition for you. You're gonna give me your jacket, your helmet, and your motorcycle, and in return, I'm gonna let you keep your hand.
Take it.
What, no smile?
And then he tries to pull his hand back. He's done.
Look at that. He's so
disengaging.
confused. He's like, why would this be happening? I was having a good time.
Yeah, he's like he's done with the handshake. He's the one who tries to pull away. He's like, the handshake's over. She said her name. I've said my name. I am pulling back the handshake. I'm no longer going to be touching her because she offered me this handshake. She offered me the handshake, and I am done with the handshake, and I'm pulling back. Oh!
All right, so they both engage in what could be considered a consensual handshake, at which point Captain Marvel then begins to squeeze and, I guess, electrocute this guy. I actually didn't see the movie, so I don't know exactly what her powers are.
You didn't see the movie.
You don't have to see the movie.
Let me highlight why it's important.
All the context you need is
I was
here.
gonna say, well, it's still important that he hasn't seen the movie, especially for a legal case, because this is not a human being we're talking about. It's an alien god. You would know this if it was a legal case, because if you could get her into a court, which is going to be pretty unlikely.
Oh.
Like, is he aware that she's like a super powerful god, or no? Because that would be relevant in the court case, right? Just like how
I mean, you would.
you can't hurt, like he's not even
Kind of
physically
bare
capable of hurting
minimum.
her.
I mean, tiny little bit of research, like the bare minimum of you need to establish people's power levels and potentials for these kinds of scenarios. Like if a child attacks you as an adult, then obviously you have incredible power over the child and it can't really hurt you, but you could do anything to the kid. So and that obviously is going to play in the legality of it.
This is where the jury comes in as well, because if the kid slapped you on your leg and then you kicked them and they were like, I'm literally talking like 3 foot right now, you kick them in the chest and they fling across the room and they get permanent like organ damage or something, and the jury saw that video, they would just be like, this is fucking wrong. And they go, and the lawyer's like, it's self-defense. He was slapped on the back of the leg.
Yeah, I get slapped on the back
and the
of
jury
leg.
would be like, that's hilarious. You're wrong. Like, you can't possibly.
Like, I just swore you tried to defend yourself.
So I've clearly got a lot of faith in the potential jury right now. Like, I'm just hoping juries aren't retarded, but yeah, I don't know.
But he's clearly in pain as a result of this grip that Captain Marvel has put on in this handshake.
If she had a gun and she used that gun to threaten his life, you could just swap out the powers for a handgun. Boom.
Yeah, but what if he said it was into self-defense because he asked her to smile? Come on.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh, fucking shoot him. 3 in the chest.
生きるリバサイガスの吹き溜まりはまちまったやつほど口が悪いここじゃ成功ってやつ雲隠れ俺たちの未来と空の色はグレー吹き変わり地に詰めだね全速で前してみたのかね見つけた最低変なら書き残すこの目しか見れない名前だけこの決意に甘えはね